Hello, everyone, and welcome to Locked On Flames. I'm your host, Jess Belmosto. For those of you who don't know me, I am the host of your daily Locked On Flames podcast. I do a little bit of writing for a few places, but my main gig is public relations and fan comms for the Metropolitan Riveters. Today's episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. The holidays are right around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is tricky, especially for those people you don't know who to shop for. You know who they are. Every family has them. Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL into the search bar to order the perfect gift package. The Flames they played Vegas, had a tough loss. Now we look to bounce back against the Sharks, and we'll get into it in just a moment.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I am currently drinking coffee at 9 p.m. because it's finals week, and apparently I would also not be surviving finals week without coffee or these 10:30 East Coast time puck drop start times. Here we go. So the Flames did not roll over and die against Vegas. I know we're on to bigger and better things right now, but sometimes we just need to talk about how far this team has come. The Flames never play well in Vegas. They have never won a game in Vegas, so I'm pretty sure this makes them 0-10 now. But you know what? It was a little bit of a boring hockey game. Not going to lie here. Don't act like you stayed awake through the whole thing. But I know I didn't. But the Flames hung in there. They made it. They cut the lead in half. It was 2-1, and then unfortunately Vegas struck back right away. But Markstrom looked really good. And that's something that we can't just overlook. And I know we talk about how good of a goaltending tandem we have, but it's so important to actually recognize their praise. Vegas had 13 high danger chances, and that's a lot for Markey to go up against. And he stopped 10 shots in the first period, and it was a flub of a goal from Marchessault that got Vegas on the board, and then things just kind of spiraled from there. But on a positive note, one of my favorite things about this team is how consistent Andrew Mangiapane is, because he is a player who is just unbelievable when it comes to playing on the road. 16 of his 17 goals come while he's on the road. And part of that is because the Flames have played more road games than any other team in the NHL. So, he hasn't really had much of an opportunity to score at home, but he's just, one of those guys that you have fun watching every night, and you look forward to it. And he's kind of becoming like the Elias Lindholm, where you can almost count on a goal per game from him. So, or at least a point a game. Goal a game is pretty unrealistic. But he doesn't have those long droughts that you might see in other players. And I think that he's kind of solidified himself in that position. I think you can count on, if somebody was like, okay, who's gonna have the most points tonight, I would say Lindholm. But then now, if you ask me, I would say probably Lindholm and Mangiapane, one of those. There's actually names in the mix now. And that's no shade to the rest of the players, but to see this young kid come up and kind of boost the offense like this it's nice. It's refreshing, and hopefully they don't lose him. You always have to worry about that. Earlier in the segment, I talked about how Vegas had 13 high danger chances. Calgary only had 2. So that to me tells me that they're not moving the puck enough and they're not shooting enough. And I know it's kind of like weird to transition just from like how good a player is to the negativity, but baby, this is Flames hockey. You get to experience it all. It's a roller coaster here. But one thing I will continue to watch for in, the games going forward is are players are there certain players that are afraid to shoot? Are there, ones that are holding on to the puck a little too long? I'm kind of looking at Sean Monahan. I feel like he hasn't been shooting the puck a lot. I think that, there's a bit of hesitancy when it comes to him. And I don't have the numbers on these things, like right off the top of my head, unfortunately, but that is definitely something we will talk about as the season continues. But coming up next, we're going to do Temp Check Tuesday because you can never have too much fun here on Locked On Flames. But first, let's talk about Omaha Steaks. You guys know that buying gifts for people is one of like the most fun and frustrating things in the entire world. Last year, my mom was trying to figure out what to buy my boyfriend's family, and I was like, I don't know. They have everything they need, and my mom actually suggested Omaha Steaks, and I was like, wait, that's perfect. Like they love to grill, they love steak, they love their red wine. Can't get any better than Omaha Steaks. And the holidays, they're here. They're right around the corner, and they're rapidly approaching. So you're going to want to head on over to omahasteaks.com and send the perfect gift their way, because you can head on over to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for $99.99. You'll get 24 entrees like the world famous bacon wrapped filet mignons, chicken breasts, sides, desserts, and so much more. When you use code NHL, you'll also get an additional 8 Omaha Steaks burgers free with your order. We've all heard the reports about shortages and shipping delays, so do not wait. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com and you'll get 8 free burgers when entering code NHL. Achieve gift giving greatness with Omaha Steaks, and they have incredible flavor, incredible value, and are 100% guaranteed. So, omahasteaks.com, keyword NHL. Boost Mobile is going to save you a lot of money, because with Boost Mobile, you get the power of free 5G phones so you can listen to all the latest episodes of your podcasts. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line, so your family can all harness all that brain power too. So you can listen to me on Locked On Flames, Locked On NHL, and whatever episodes I appear on that week as a crossover. And the power of one of America's largest 5G networks, so you can do all of it at the speed of 5G. I'm here for you, baby. I'm here in 5G. With all that money you'll save and all that knowledge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile and find out. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save? Boost Mobile. Disclaimer: free phone limited to new customers and 1 per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers and coverage not available everywhere or for all phones and networks. See boostmobile.com for details. All right, you guys, it's Temp Check Tuesday. How are y'all? How are y'all doing? How are you doing? You know, I just you, this time of year can be tough for people, and I know for me things are getting a little rough, a little hairy. But you know what? We will survive. We will get through it. We're in this together. We're a team. But like a team, we have to check in on the Calgary Flames. I would say they're still doing pretty warm. They're not scalding hot. They're not boiling. Like I'm not going to dump my pasta in there and be like, okay, you'll be ready in 8 to 11 minutes. But they're like a little bit more than a simmer. You know, it's, they're doing good. You know, they're right where you want them to be because you don't want them to be too hot all season. You can't have them going out and scoring 6, 7 goals a night and tire themselves up before the All-Star break and expect them to carry over that energy and momentum through the rest of the season and then into the playoffs. But this is how hockey should be played. This is how this team has supposed to look for years. And right now they're sitting pretty in first in the Pacific with 35 points. The Oilers are behind them with 32. And right now they're tied with Minnesota for first in the Western Conference. You know, this is not the Flames team we thought we were getting. This is not the Flames team I ever expected to come well while covering them this early in my career. And it's a pleasant surprise. I'm very impressed with the fact that they are doing well all around, because that's something that I feel like most teams struggle with. No one has a cohesive unit all the time. The Flames, they do have that. They have that. And yes, there are moments where, maybe the offense falls into like a slump for a period, or, defense, you got Milan Lucic being a Buick out there, and then I mentioned the defense, but then you got Zadorov out there. I don't really know what he's doing. Not entirely sure. You got Valimaki finally down in the AHL, working on his game and things like that. But things are looking good. And I think that we just need to kind of take a step back from the ledge and realize that, this is okay. This is Daryl Sutter hockey. You don't have to worry about him being fired. You don't have to worry about, some missteps happening. And if missteps happen, the Flames are at a point right now and where it's still early enough in the season where they can afford to have those missteps. And a loss isn't going to kill you. 2 losses in a row isn't going to kill you the same way it did last year. 3 losses in a row, yeah, that's not great. But you know what? If you can skate away with a point in overtime versus 2, at least you're walking away with something, and you proved that you could play through 60 and then some. But the Flames are playing San Jose tonight, which will be interesting, and we're going to talk more about that in the final segment of the show. But this team has played on the road more than any other team this season, and they've always been better on the road, and I I don't understand how or why. This is just Flames hockey. This is who they are. This is their identity. They are 4-2-3 at home. And, we're going to look down the road a little bit further. When we hit that home stretch, we'll talk about it, but we don't need to worry about that right now. But I do feel like the game against Edmonton on the 27th of this month will test them. And, I don't think that it's fair to say it'll be it'll show who the true king of the North is, or the real winner of Alberta, because no one wins in Alberta. I'm sorry. It just looks really cold there. And I don't think I could ever live there, in my humble opinion. But then again, I say that as if my windshield wiper was not frozen, stuck to my car this morning and snapped off. So I shouldn't be talking. But anyways, the Battle of Alberta is something that I think should have been a major selling point for the Flames last season. But because of the situation, the team being as crappy as it was, and with the restrictions being as bad as, or not as bad, but as heavy as they were, I don't think we really got to appreciate them. And then there were the games where Edmonton would just steamroll the Flames 8-0, and you still had 2 more periods to play after that. So you didn't really have a fair shot at an actual competitive game. But this year, I feel like both teams are rather competitive, and it'll be interesting and fun to watch, because I think both teams have kind of figured out where they are and who they are as a team. Yeah, it's still just kind of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but they have enough of an identity to make them fun to watch outside of those two. And I think they're, everybody kind of laughed at their defense and those contracts and everything. But I do think that, you know, I mean, they're more competitive than they were last year, I believe. I'll have to check in with some Oilers writers around that time, but I really don't think that they're as bad as kind of people expected them to be. And that is not me praising the Edmonton Oilers, because I will tell you right here, right now, their jerseys are hideous. Orange and navy blue do not look good together unless you are the Denver Broncos. That's it. I don't know what color adjuster they used to declare Edmonton's colors, but orange, please, you are not a pumpkin. This is not a fall themed merch release. You do not need that much orange anywhere in your wardrobe. And your all navy blue jerseys look like they belong in like a knockoff store. But anyways, back to the Flames. I am always interested to see how they do in against their division rivals, or obviously I'm not really interested how they play against Vancouver, because I think Vancouver is a crap team and it doesn't matter how they play against Vancouver. But when you're playing against these competitive teams that you are actively competing for a playoff spot with, it's a little bit different. And last year I wouldn't have I would have worried about games against Vancouver, but not anywhere as near as how little I care about them this year. And that's just because I think that there was like this expectation last year that the Flames would turn the page, but they never did. They never did until the off season, until they put in the work, put in the hours. They stayed hungry. They devoured. I don't remember the rest of the words, but yes, they really worked hard, and it's it's proven to be a point, that this team is competitive, and I look forward to those games against the divisional teams. And I think they only have 4 wins within their division this year, which isn't great. So, we'll have to see what's next. And what's next for you on Locked On Flames is kind of a little bit of a preview before tonight's game against the San Jose Sharks. But first, let's talk about BetOnline AG. BetOnline AG has everything you need, top to bottom, A to Z, 1 to a million when it comes to sports betting. And they have a freshly designed website that you can check out on your computer or your phone at betonline.ag, and they are offering you a special discount code to get your 50% welcome bonus when you make your first deposit. So all you need to do, sign up today, make that first deposit, and enter code locked on for that 50% welcome bonus. They welcome you with open arms with your favorite arcade games. And they also have, the importance of sports betting, the props, the updates, and the lines. Everything you need to know is right there on BetOnline AG. And they have you covered with that 50% welcome bonus with promo code locked on when you make your first deposit. Locked On Flames continues. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. Hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button, get the notifications so you know that I'm here for you whenever you need me. I'm here. I got you. So, Aiden Hill is starting for the San Jose Sharks tonight, and the Flames did run into a bit of a problem with him last time. I am very about this, mainly because of how hot he was last time and how sluggish the offense was against Vegas. And, the Flames falling 4-1 to the Sharks after an incredible 10-game point streak is fine. Like, I don't think that there was anything, we needed to put too much weight into, because those long point streaks are not sustainable. You're not going to see those through an entire season. Unless you're Buffalo and you're just going to lose 19 in a row, but we're not Buffalo. Not Buffalo. But the Flames had 26 shots and were 0-2 on the power play against San Jose last time. Could it have been the fatigue? Could it have been underestimating your opponent? It's up to them. I don't really think that they're going to have too much problem bouncing back tonight. I do worry about the offense a little bit, but nothing like last year, because last year it was just like a hangover. They'd snap a losing streak and then they would have one, or they'd win one and then they'd fall into another L, and then it would just spiral out of control, and like it was just like a hangover they couldn't shake. It's like, when you take cold medicine and it lingers in your system for too long and you like wake up the next day and you're like, what is this? And no amount of coffee can save you. That's like what it was watching Flames all last year. They could not help themselves and could not shake off that hangover. And it was like no amount of greasy food was going to help them. They probably needed like a juice cleanse, to be completely honest. But Vladar is in net tonight, and Markstrom gets a night off. No, again, nothing to worry about. There's no such thing as goalie controversy here in Calgary, which I love. I think it's one of my favorite things about covering this team is that you have two good goaltenders and the media isn't trying to drive a narrative of, well, this one should be starting over this one and this one does this and he's not nice to the media. It's nice. But that's all I have for you on today's episode of Locked On Flames. And I did want to mention that I do have a discount code. This isn't sponsored. I'm not receiving any money or compensation for this. But I do have a discount code with thepuckcollective.com. They are offering listeners of Locked On Flames or followers of mine 15% off of their orders when you use promo code JessB15 when you check out at their website. And I think it'd be pretty cool to grab yourself some gifts, do what you need to do. And you know what? Just keep swimming. Have a good night, you guys.